And then in terms of compassion for yourself and compassion for others, we are onto something beautiful here. Freedom from suffering and true compassion for other people. Because of how we relate to ourselves, we can extrapolate that they're probably doing the same thing, don't you think? They're probably doing the same thing. And they're probably lost in confusion. And there's no judgment here because I have spent so much of my life lost in what? That confusion. So I can't judge anyone. I'm not above anyone. I'm not below anyone. We're all in this together. This is just, we are embracing our suffering together as in all of our humanness and all of our humanity. We're just embracing this right now. Just going, wow, this is the situation at hand. There is what is happening, and there is my relationship to what is happening. And my relationship to what is happening is largely fantasy. Fantasy. Pure cognitive fantasy, emotional fantasy, and sensation fantasy. In Buddhism we call fabrication. Or sankhara. Please say sankhara. S-A-N-K-H-A-R-A. Largely just out and out fabricated thoughts, fabricated emotions about people and ourselves, and fabricated sensations about ourselves and others. Just out and out, making stuff up. Fantasy. And living in that world that is not actually happening. How about that? That is a call for, not for judgment, that is a call for tenderness, please. That's a call for tenderness and call for forgiveness and love, and just be like, wow, I am a hurt person. I don't meet myself as I am very often. I don't meet other people as they are very often. I meet myself as in terms of a cognitive process that is so rapid, I don't even know how to keep up with it. I meet myself with an emotional process that is all over the place. And I don't know how to make sense of that. I meet myself as sensations and feelings, and like I try to guide my life based on temporary sensations. And then I project those same things onto others. And I can't figure out why I don't get along with people. And is it really that hard to understand? Actually? Just keep it in this context and be like, wow, we're really not terribly sophisticated. Regardless, I don't care if you're from Manhattan and you think you're terribly cosmopolitan. We're actually beautifully wounded people who want to be happy. Not difficult. Not difficult. So I suggest stretch for a minute and let's do some meditation on this. We'll do some meditation. Then we'll pause, do some questions, then we'll do a brief meditation, and we'll be done for tonight. Okay? But these will be the meditations. They are recorded. You can go back and listen if you're taking this class as a class for audit or for teacher training. The instructions are online for class 2. And if you missed last week, class 1 videos are online as well. On Facebook, they're on our YouTube channel, and they're on Vimeo. Okay? So please come back in 2 minutes. Nice and quiet, please. Just a quiet break. Please don't get the chit-chat going. And hopefully this is starting to sink in and you're getting the profound importance of mindfulness now. How it could help you tremendously to stop suffering, offer you freedom, open-hearted, tender. That's our goal. And to really come to terms with reality as it is, not as we imagine it to be. All through which processes? Mindfulness of breathing and mindfulness of what? Body so far. Who would have thought? Like this is largely going to come down to like coming at the world from within. Coming at the world from within. The world that we perceive, coming about it from the inside out. Who would have thought? Pun intended. Right. Okay, so please be seated and we'll do a guided meditation. All right, so let's begin. Let's take an alert, upright, comfortable posture and raise the sternum, please. If you're sleepy, feel free to stand up. You may lay down. Sit in a chair, but in any case, spine as straight as you can, please. And then sternum, go ahead and raise it slightly. Shoulders back, resting on the shoulder blades. And then your hands, either palms down or the knees or the thighs, traditionally, or the right hand and the left hand, thumbs together gently. Unless you're in the Zen tradition, I think sometimes that's backwards, but in any case, right hand and the left hand, thumbs together gently. And if you're in a chair, please try not to use the back of the chair as a support unless you need to do so. Unless you need to do so. But we want unrestricted breathing, please. And elbows out away from the ribs. If you're in a chair, feet flat down on the ground, stabilized. Excellent. And let's begin by taking a few slow, long, deep, purposeful, luxuriating breaths all the way down to the diaphragm. In our tradition at this point, eyes closed preferably. Eyes closed preferably, unless you're sleepy, then open them. About a third of the way, a hooded gaze. And I'd like you to start also by visualizing yourself as a mountain right now, an unmovable mountain. A breathing, unmovable mountain. Literally, and I mean literally, visualize yourself as a stable, unmovable, breathing mountain. And like a mountain, not affected by passing or changing seasons, wildfires, snowfall, sunlight. Still. Here for the long haul. Not concerned with the outside. Changing phenomenon. In an observing mode of attention, please. So with this introduction to the body, we'll now begin our meditation. In this posture that is expressing alertness, physical presence, and that offers at least a modicum of ease as well. You might want to rock back and forth, and side to side, gently, finding that place where the spine is supporting your weight versus the muscles in the back. It's very exhausting rapidly. Eyes are gently closed. You've taken a few slow, long, deep breaths. And part of this function is to enter your body through feeling this massaging movement of your breathing. As you exhale, allow yourself to relax. Let go. Let go of the outermost concentric circle, the thoughts and concerns about today. And here is this body where you actually live. And especially right now during these few minutes of meditation, in the body, please. Into the innermost layer of awareness and aware of breathing. So the innermost two layers, awareness and breathing. So go ahead and connect with that, please, internally. Aware that there is breath, aware that there is breathing. Make no effort to breathe in any special way. And perhaps as you exhale, you can soften some of your body. Perhaps it's easy to soften. Soften the muscles of the face, please. Maybe let your mouth open slightly. Let your jaw drop. Slight space between the lips. Softening the jaw. Helpful to soften the shoulders too, please. The shoulder blades, you can soften the chest. Soften the belly, just let it hang forward and down. And please remain alert as we leave the cognitive and emotive frames of reference and drop into the body. And just because you're not in the cognitive frame of reference, don't let that trigger you, please, into sleepiness or drowsiness. Pay careful attention. And that's quite common at first. When you leave the cognitive and emotive frames of reference, for many people, that's a tendency, there's a signal to go to sleep or to get drowsy or to space out. For you as a practitioner, it means joy. Go ahead and turn the corners of your lips upward, right from the very beginning. The joy of dropping out of the outer frames of reference and into the reference called mindfulness of body. That it feels good to leave those references. Those dimensions of cognition and emotion. See if you can feel that right from the beginning, please. Turn your lips upward. A sense of composure and simplicity. Maybe even radical acceptance that I'm okay as I am. I'm just this body, this human being. Just sitting here, breathing. The sense of quiet dignity about that, please. Composure. A natural elegance. And just see if you can be aware of your body in a very global sense, that it's just breathing. The abdomen is rising and falling, the rib cage, both the front and the back, expanding and contracting. The shoulders are lifting, the neck is moving ever so slightly, the hips, with every breath. The whole body, globally speaking, is breathing in and breathing out. And see if you can tap into that. The simplicity, the otherworldly joy that's happy to be out of the other modes of reference, those other dimensions, and truly present. Without any commentary, without any cognitive commentary or judgment, or assigning meaning to this. And if thoughts come, let them come and go. You can let them just be there. And then become aware of the body in a very broad and expansive way. Not focusing on any particular area of discomfort. And then within the body, as part of the body, see if you can become more fully aware of how the body is experiencing breathing. You can become aware of the sensations of the air going in and out the nostrils. All these different sensations connected to the body, just the body, without any commentary about the sensations. When the commentary comes, it's fine. Just be careful not to be caught by it. Just returning back to the body breathing and other sensations. Just staying present with the immediacy of the breath and the sensations that you feel around the breathing in particular. And simply, there's just no need to make any commentary or judgments about the mind that's wandering off in thought. As soon as you notice that's happening, simply begin again, sensing your breathing. You just try to be very simple and begin again. And as you begin again with your breathing, do so with a sense that you're going to hang in there, breathing in and breathing out, one breath after the next, as a continuity of awareness of breathing and the sensations that are correlated with that breathing. And if you keep getting lost in thought, remember, you can label with the inhalation rising or with the exhalation falling. Some people say breathing in, breathing out. But whatever it is that helps you stay connected to the breathing in the body, that's what you ought to do. Out of those outer layers of concentric circles, please. And from time to time, please don't forget, check in with the joy of simplicity. Perhaps a radiant face, if someone were looking at you from the outside. They might even comment, this person appears serene. This person appears at ease, composed. Approachable. Without concern. And notice if you're getting caught up in commentary. See if you can disentangle yourself in favor of this, in favor of just being present. And coming back to this without judgment. And that's just something that you have to want. You have to want to favor this. You have to want to be disentangled and to find the value of simplicity and how it feels, and begin to appreciate this. The lack of craziness, the lack of neurosis. See if you can touch on that right now. The lack of craziness, the lack of that swirl of thought energy and emotive energy. Can you touch on that right now? Just feel the body breathing. The utter ease. When I say a dignity, I mean a respect for yourself. This is how I am. In my natural state. That there's nothing wrong with me. That everything's just fine. When I step out of those circles, those concentric circles of thoughts, those cognitions and emotions, and the sensations, and I just feel the simplicity of my own being, the elegance of that. And before we conclude, we're almost done with the session. Just feel some sensation, please, in your body. Just any sensation, strong sensation. Bring attention to it. Let that become the predominant field of awareness right now. Some strong sensation in the body. Now take a moment and offer it commentary. I want you to feel the difference, see the difference, experience the difference. Go ahead and give some commentary to that sensation, please. Just for a minute. What does it mean? Okay, now see if you can step into just the sensation, please. Out of the commentary, out of that cognitive mode, please. And just experience the sensation as a sensation, without any commentary, calling it names like pain or pleasant or unpleasant or anything at all. Sharp, hot, dull, just leave it alone. Just see if you can stay with the sensation. And the reason why I want you to do this is because this is what's going to happen when you practice this week at home. You're going to be sitting there breathing, and all of a sudden some amazing energy sensation is going to come in. An itch, for example, that I don't want you to scratch. A numbness in your foot, or some kind of pain in your back. And when that happens, that becomes the predominant experience. And so when people teach mindfulness or breathing, they often teach it. So teachers in training, listen to me carefully. They often teach it incorrectly. In mindfulness practice, it's not like concentration. Whatever's most predominant in the awareness, that's what you turn attention toward, but without judgment or commentary. So if you're sitting here and just being simple and joyful and breathing, and then all of a sudden, which is what happens, some big sensation comes in, turn your attention toward it. Let go of the breath temporarily. Don't try to stay with the breath and force it. That's not mindfulness. Mindfulness means to bring attention toward whatever is most predominant in the experience. And then you notice it. And you keep it in attention. And if it begins to fade, then you can return back to breathing. So let's see if you can do that. Pay attention to the sensation, just the sensation, and all of its rawness, without commentary. And to feel how good it is to not place judgment and commentary on the sensation. Go ahead and turn your lips up, even if the experience of the sensation you may not find particularly pleasant. But you're smart enough not to add commentary to it. You have that kind of discernment, we call it. That there is what is happening, which is a sensation, and then there is your relationship to what is happening. All right, now back to the breathing for the last minute of the session. The body's breathing. That's the predominant experience right now. The body's breathing in, the body's breathing out. And there are sensations that are correlated with that breathing. Feel that. All right. Please bring your hands together and namaste. And gently bowing forward, respecting mindfulness of breathing and body. Now we'll do a little Q&A with this, and then we'll have a very brief, maybe 3-minute session, focus a little bit more on sensations. So this week, highlight mindfulness of body. And what we mean by that is what? Getting out of the concentric circles, right? And I want you to be able to figure out, like, okay, so this is a meditation experience, but could this also be useful for me when? All the time. Like, that's the idea. So like that, you're not just practicing like some sort of meditation thing that doesn't have any practical application. We don't do that around here. Everything has to have practical application or we're not interested. Okay? So if you're just coming here to meditate and then you plan on leaving here and then going right into cognitive mode and emotional mode and sensation mode, then you didn't understand what we did tonight. Okay? The idea is to practice this. And again, meditation means what? To familiarize yourself with your mind and its contents. And so you're learning and you're like starting to get the subtlety of mindfulness now, right from the second week. You know, we're getting into it. Going, wow, this is really, this is a little bit maybe more than I bargained for. This is good. This has real practical value to my life, to my family, to my relationship with myself, to my work. It's like going, I can step out of this at any time. At any time, I am free to come home. Well, so how do you have to get into a particular posture? When could you do this? When could you, and by coming home, I mean coming into the first 2 rings of concentric circles, which are what? Awareness, just awareness, we'll call spirituality. Just this beautiful acceptance of I am. And just awareness, just raw awareness. And then then that second layer is what? Breathing. And the third layer is what? Sensations. And the fourth layer is what? Emotions. And the fifth layer is what? Cognitions. And the further the layer, the further away from reality. That's the point. The further the layer, the further away from reality. Like reality is, there's just what? Just awareness. And then there's what? Breathe. Then there's like the physical breathing. And then there's what? Sensations. And you're getting further and further away, as you begin to relate to reality. And when that confusion is, it's okay if there was just sensations, if there were just emotions, if there was just thoughts. But that's not really how we apply them, is it? We apply them as though that my thoughts are what? Reality, people, situations, and my emotions are about myself, about people, about situations. Sensations are not just sensations, they're sensations about, like, that's the confusion. This is what, I'm really starting to define, like, what suffering is. It's like, we're just going around fabricating with these just outermost levels of experience. And that's not necessary. Not necessary at all. You can be simple. And simplicity here is a synonym for elegance. Like, again, dignity and composure. The basis of compassion, of limitless compassion. Like, if you step away from those outer layers, like, you've got this. Like, you're gonna have a lot of forgiveness for yourself and a lot of tenderness for yourself and tenderness for others, for sure. Okay, so questions? Thoughts, questions, concentric circles. The 2 pillars of mindfulness are, again, there is, and there is your. Excellent. You guys got this. You got this. Okay. All right. And so we did mindfulness of breathing last week. This is mindfulness of body and sensations. Yeah, sensations. So we're starting to work on sensations, like, because sensations are part of the body. Yeah, no way around it. But we just don't want to provide what to them? Commentary. Yeah, no need. Hit the mute button. Like, it's fine. Like, that's just what's happening. There's what's happening. It's a sensation. And then there's your what? Relationship. Which can be, what can that relationship be? What am I saying? It can be peaceful. It can be mute. There's no need for commentary. And that mute, that silence, that's a relationship to what's happening. Highlight that somehow. Silence is a relationship to what is happening. Which is a huge ego blow, isn't it? It's like your commentary is not what? Not necessary. Your commentary about every sensation and every emotion is like, not necessary. It could be that a really beautiful relationship to reality is called what? You'll see these signs all around the center. You know what they say? Noble silence, please. You may discover that silence is a fantastic response to reality. That you can really just show up for it that way, without all these layers. And you're going to have to learn how to be present with something. And we mentioned it in classes this past week, which is called being cool with, I don't know. And I don't need to know. I don't know what this stuff is. It's just a sensation, and I don't need to know. And a lot of people aren't comfortable with that at first. And they discover that they always have to fill in the blank, and they get the idea that is that they fill in the blank that they gain what? Some kind of certainty. And so here it's like you're learning, like, to learn how to be cool with uncertainty. And I don't know mind. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a sensation. And someone says, what is it? You go like this, ready? I don't know. And what about that person? Can't you figure them out? And you're like going like this, ready? I don't know. And you're like, do you have to have an answer to that? I don't know. I really don't know. What if everyone says, but I know? Then do you feel compelled to, like, you have to, like, agree with people? Or you're like, this is the idea. It's like elegance, dignity here. Cool? Okay. Thoughts, questions for me? Just a really brief meditation and get you out of here? No? Okay. One more brief sip, please. Empty out your hands again. Take a meditation posture. This will be literally 3 minutes at the most. And we're just going to focus on sensation. Close the eyes, please. And here we go. Just a couple deep breaths out of the concentric circles into the innermost concentric circles, please. Breathing in, breathing out. All right, so shifting gears. So relaxing into the meditative frame of reference. Eyes are gently closed. Take a few deep breaths just to settle in into the body. And now bring awareness to your right hand. Just a heightened sensitivity to what's happening in your right hand, please. Just sensations, vibrations, pressure, coolness, warmth, tingling, pulsing, heaviness, lightness, hardness, softness, whatever. Just feel the sensations with as little as commentary as possible. And see if you can feel the three-dimensionality of it. Not just one part of it, but all the way through and around. And all the sensations and the three-dimensionality aspect of just the right hand, please. The palm of your right hand. The back of your hand. The fingers. And then let yourself just be soft and relaxed in a calm and deliberate way. Switch attention to your left hand. start awakening to a greater sensitivity to what's happening in your left hand. Not thinking about your left hand, but just sensing it, feeling it. The tingling, the vibrations, the energy, the warmth, the coolness, the softness. And now, with that same type of calmness, move your attention to the experience of breathing. Wherever in your body you experience the breathing most easily, just like you just did with your hands, that kind of detail. Meaning heighten the sensitivity in the area of your body where you're most sensitive to breathing. Just like you did with your left and right hand. And just enter into the world of sensations right there. The sensations of breathing. The fullness of sensations in that part of your body that you're most aware of breathing. And that every time you exhale, you just simply let go of whatever it is you're thinking about. So that when you breathe in, you can more fully experience the breath and all of its rawness. Excellent. Okay. So heightened sensitivity to breath and sensations. So last anecdote, how this would work. So imagine this scenario with me. You've all been here. Imagine that, let's say you're one of my therapy clients. Let's have some fun here. Imagine you're one of my therapy clients and you've made an appointment with me. Let me tell you how that usually goes. I'm usually not on time. Sometimes not even close. Now, but let's imagine that you've made an appointment with me. You got it? And what if the appointment's at 5 o'clock and I'm not there? Okay. Now, my claim is that there are what? 2 pillars of what? Mindfulness. There is what's happening, and there's and there was all these concentric circles. Now, if I don't show up at 5 o'clock, my question to you is, what does that mean about our relationship? Jenny? Jenny says it means nothing. But sometimes, could you imagine what you might think? Like what? Sally?
You're not going to show up.
I'm not going to show up, and I don't what? It's very rude. Okay, and Lynn?
Oh my God, he's probably in an accident.
Okay. Yes, I just wanted to show you some practical application. I'm not saying that any of you could relate to this at all. But I would like you to think of one way today that this could have helped. So let's go ahead and rewind the tape because it needs to be practical. One way today, or maybe the last week, where you go, I actually did this. I actually was there physically, but I went places. I literally just made up a whole story, and I want you to see what suffering is and what freedom from suffering is as it relates to this practice. So did you suffer? Think of an incident where like there was what has happened that your mind went what? Oh yeah, I mean you went outer limits. Can you think of one thing? Liz, you got one? Robin, you got one? Nicole, just one. Not writing a novel here. Just one. A little vignette, right? You got everybody got one. Steve, you got one?
Yes, sir.
Deb, you got one? Okay, that's what we mean by suffering. Hold that for a second. Now, I said last week we teach what? Freedom from. So let's go ahead and let's just go back and rewind the tape and imagine what it would have been like if you hadn't done that. Like the guy I didn't show up or whatever. There just it wasn't on time. That's what's happening. And then there's your relationship to it. And then just go ahead and go back to that and just imagine that you hadn't done that for a second. Okay? Instead of what you did. Take all your ego out of it. The thoughts, the emotions, all the sensations that went into it. Are we there? Are we all there? Eric, you with me? Okay, now go like this. It's called humility. All right, it's just like going, I want you to feel this practice, the freedom that we're talking about going, I don't have to do any of this stuff. There doesn't have to be any buy-in here. I can even recognize the thoughts are there. I don't need to make the thoughts not be there. I don't need to judge myself. If the thoughts are there, I recognize that they're just what? Thoughts. This works not just in meditation, but also works where? What about when you're driving? Don't you know what it means when a guy cuts you off? You understand that it's just there is what is happening and the rest is pure fabrication, pure fantasy. All right, then the last part, let's dedicate the merit. The back of your page, please. And by this merit, may all sentient beings everywhere be free from ignorance and suffering. May it defeat the enemy of wrongdoing. From the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. From the ocean of suffering, may I free all. And may I be happy, may I be well, may I be safe, peaceful, and at ease. May you be happy, may you be safe, may you be well, may you be safe, may you be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy, may we be well, may we be safe, peaceful, and at ease. And may every sentient being be happy. May every sentient being be well. May every sentient being be safe, peaceful, and at ease. Thank you so very much. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And if you want to hear these things, they're all recorded. It's literally everywhere that we've mentioned. So it's on Facebook, it's on our Vimeo page, it's on our YouTube channel. You name it, whatever you want to hear these things again. And the tests are online waiting for you. If you're doing this for auditing or for teacher training, or if you just want to take them, it's all there. Okay. So thank you very much. Yeah.